Jake Paul versus Mike Perry is this weekend in Tampa, Florida, and today we are going to talk about some of the things going into the fight, how this fight came together, and we're going to give you an official prediction for the fight as well. So stick around to hear my thoughts on Jake Paul versus Mike Perry in boxing. I'm Wyatt. This is Fight Society. Hey guys, so before we get started, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. This weekend in Tampa, Florida, we have Jake Paul and Mike Perry fighting in a boxing match. Mike Perry putting the gloves back on. The fight is a replacement for what was supposed to be Jake Paul and Mike Tyson in Cowboy Stadium, which has now been pushed to November due to Mike Tyson having some sort of medical flare-up, something that wasn't incredibly serious, they say, but it was serious enough for him to pull out of the fight. So here we are, same date, new opponent, new venue, Jake Paul, Mike Perry boxing at 200 pounds. Now, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about is the weight. But first, I want to talk about Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Now, I'm actually glad that that fight's been postponed. I hope it actually doesn't happen because there's so much risky business going on there because you have inactive 60-year-old Mike Tyson and 27-year-old, 28-year-old Jake Paul, who in my opinion is on performance-enhancing drugs. So you have 30-year age advantage and a little bit of the secret sauce, which I'm sure Mike Tyson would be taking for the fight as well. But the 30-year age gap, the explosiveness, the chin that hasn't had shots and shots taken. Jake Paul hasn't taken that many big shots in his career. So first off, I'm actually glad that that fight's pushed back. I hope it doesn't happen. It'll be a huge social media and kind of cultural event in some ways, I guess. But I don't want that fight to happen. I hope that the postponement turns into a cancellation. But the next thing I want to talk about is the weight. Now, this fight is being contested at 200 pounds. It was going to be a heavyweight fight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. It was rumored that Jake Paul was up to 230 pounds. Now he is going to be making 200 pounds, which I think he's competed at 185, 195. He's competed at a multitude of weights, but he was vastly bulking for this, where Mike Perry was a slightly undersized welterweight in the UFC at 170 pounds, fights in bare knuckle at 185, and now he's going to be fighting at 200. He has said that it's kind of hard for him to keep weight on because you have to train so much to actually be ready conditioning-wise for a fight, and in turn, you also are burning a lot of calories. So it takes a lot of influx of calories to actually maintain weight or gain it with how much you're training in camp, because usually you're trying to cut weight during camp. The first thing that, is Mike Perry going to be slow and undersized from bulking? Is he going to be like nice, peppy, springy, pep in his step because he didn't have to cut weight? He's fully nourished. And then is Jake Paul going to be slow from bulking? Because he did bulk quite a bit. You guys might have seen the picture of Jake Paul, but he did bulk quite a bit. And you can see right here, this is Jake Paul bulking for heavyweight. There is definitely a change in his physique for the fight, which was originally supposed to be Mike Tyson, but is he going to be slow? Has he not fully adjusted to this weight yet? That's something I want to know. But here's something that I wanted to point out. Mike Perry actually talked about this. He did an interview, and it seems like and I agree with him, but it seems like he thinks Jake Paul might be on a little something extra. And so this here is Mike Perry's interview with Fight Hub TV, where he hints at potential steroid use by Jake. So here's what Mike Perry had to say about that.
Juice and everything that I can, eating pasta, and I just can't get any bigger. And if Jake went from, when I sparred him a couple years ago, I was 179, 180, and he was 195, maybe 205. And if he went from that weight is a natural weight for him, because he wasn't, I think he was about to fight Ben Askren, but I don't think he was really cutting weight at the time. And to put on 25 pounds, I don't know how someone does it, I guess, without a cheat code.
Okay, so you feel, in your opinion, he's doing some extra stuff, some extra sauce in those meals.
It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter to me. Maybe, I could just be saying that just to mess with him. He does look flubbery and, whatever. And I also told him, I don't think you were 230, because if he was 195 to 205 in those couple years ago when I sparred him, I think maybe at largest he could get up to almost 220.
So shout out to Fight Hub TV. You see him right there in the corner. Shout out to Fight Hub TV for getting that interview with Mike Perry. real nugget right there where he's going into it. Literally seems like Mike Perry is going into a fight with a guy that he knows is on steroids. He might be joking, as he said. It certainly does seem that Jake Paul is using steroids. That's the only way I think he's been able to attain this success. He's filthy rich. He is able to employ the best trainers, the best nutritionists, and the best pharmacist, I guess you could say. Now, I think Jake Paul's on steroids, but that's strictly my opinion. Props to Mike Perry for getting in there anyway, especially knowing that, but Mike Perry's a fighter's fighter. I mean, I would definitely say that Jake's on steroids. His body type has changed quite a bit since he started boxing. And, you know, I want to talk about the fight. Here we have Mike Perry training for some boxing, but first off, this is a better fight than Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. You don't have 60-year-old Mike Tyson going in there against a steroided 25, 27-year-old, whatever it is, to go out there and just get absolutely killed in there. Mike Perry is still in his physical prime, tough as nails. I mean, he fights in bare knuckle. So, I mean, he's okay getting hit by a punch with boxing gloves on. But the size difference is where my concern comes into play, because I think that while Mike Perry is way tougher than Jake, probably in better shape than Jake, is probably a better boxer than Jake, I think that Mike Perry's going to try to put it on him early, and either Jake Paul will gas out and take a whooping from Mike Perry, or Mike Perry comes out aggressive and gets flatline KO'd because he's so much smaller and Jake Paul is bigger, on steroids, in my opinion. And that's what I think is going to happen. Even though I love Mike Perry, as much as it pains me to say this, and I really do want to pick him, but I'm going to pick with my brain here, not my heart. I'm going to pick Jake Paul to win by KO. I think Jake Paul is going to land a viciously hard shot. Mike Perry is going to underestimate Jake Paul's power. And I think that Mike Perry is going to get laid out flat in the early rounds. But Jake could gas. He could be slow, and Mike Perry might really put it on him. Mike Perry's been bare knuckle boxing. Everyone that fights bare knuckles says that it's a different type of boxing than typical boxing with gloves on. It's too quick, like too short of notice for a fight. It's too much weight to gain. It's too much size he's giving up. I think Mike Perry's going to lose by KO somewhat viciously, and Jake Paul's going to use that to leverage into the Mike Tyson fight, or he's going to try to say, like, it's my time to fight Conor now, or something like that. So there's my official prediction, guys. I have Jake Paul beating Mike Perry by early KO. As much as I don't want to say that, as much as I want to say, oh yeah, Mike Perry goes out there and smokes him, I am going to take Jake Paul by KO in the early rounds. That's my official prediction. I want to hear your thoughts on the weight, on the experience, on the size between them. Do you think Jake Paul's on steroids as well? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to click like and subscribe down below, all that YouTube stuff. It really helps me out a lot. If you're interested in supporting the channel further and want access to members-only perks, become a channel member today for access to members-only live streams and some other perks. Link is in the description down below, or just click the join button on our channel homepage. If you're looking for some non-MMA content from me, go check out my personal channel, Wyatt's World. I'll have that linked in the description down below as well. Go watch this suggested video, and I'll see you next time.